So most people know who Elizabeth Banks is. She's a very attractive, very wealthy female that comes from Hollywood, extremely woke, and a feminist to the core. But then she took the leap from just being an actress to being a director in Pitch Perfect 2, which you can kind of see how that was directed by somebody who was a novice in their field, because it doesn't even come close to the first one. And then what other movie did she direct? The failure that is Charlie's Angels, I believe it's 2019. Which Charlie's Angels to me is already kind of a feminist thing. Old school feminist, not this new age bullshit feminist. Old school feminist, where they kind of empowered themselves by, being their own leading roles, and it was fucking awesome. Only $8 million the opening weekend, and it just kept trickling from there. It just got its ass kicked constantly. Whereas in the original reboot, they had 3 fucking celebrities that were at the top of their fucking game. They have Elizabeth Banks, who's playing one character to the side, and Twilight Girl, I forget her name. She decided to go a little bit of a different route, and she has not let it go since. She has blamed all men for being sexist for not seeing that movie. She doesn't blame herself for being a bad director. She doesn't blame herself for doing bad casting. The only thing she kind of blames herself for now, which she's flip-flopping really bad, is the direction they took to promote it. To be honest, there was no amount of promoting in either way that she wanted to that would have helped at all. It was just a bad movie. She needs to accept it was just a bad movie and move on. But now this old bitch wants to blame everything on men again, because she's kind of resurfacing this shit lately. He asked if Hollywood was more open to action films starring women since she directed Charlie's Angels in 2019. First off, yeah, they are. But they just want to put them in good films. They don't want to put them in pieces of shit. That's the difference. There is a plethora of good female-led movies that have been out just in the last 10 years. She talks about in this interview and some other interviews how the scope of the industry is changing and that's why everything's failing for her. It's not the case, because if you look at it, there's so many amazing female-led films. She also went on to tell this guy that a female should be doing the reporting instead of him, which is kind of insane. He's just asking questions that are basically brought up. He workshops them, probably workshops them with somebody else, gets them approved from whoever he's working for, and then goes and asks these questions. They're going to be the exact same questions, whether it's a female or a fucking male. So the fact that she has to bring sexism into an interview is fucking insane to me. But as she said, it's a male-dominated industry. So wouldn't you want to talk to the male, who males will probably want to watch a little bit more because it's a male interviewer, to get to those males that would be viewing your movies? That doesn't make any logical sense. In one of our most recent little interviews, they go over some of the reasons why her movie might have flopped. And it says right here, Banks was eager to play along with the woke agenda. She pushed that narrative to the press, much like the 2016 Ghostbusters, which obviously did not work. But the Angels reboot downplayed glamour and sex appeal, 2 key elements of both the TV show and the feature film franchise. So she stripped stuff from the movie and tried making it this feminist action movie. You're going to take away from a big part of the audience with that. A lot of people that want to see a Charlie's Angel film or TV show are not going to watch it unless it has all the elements of Charlie's Angels. It just wasn't going to work. And she kind of regrets promoting the movie that way. But then she goes on to say something that basically counters that. She couldn't stop thinking about the sisterhood and camaraderie and women working together as a team into an action movie if I did the Charlie's Angels movie, which she did, and that Charlie's Angels already had that built into its DNA. So why do you have to bring something and put it in its DNA that's already there? Doesn't make sense. I think it's important as a woman and a filmmaker and a feminist, gotta bring that in, to recognize that I stand on the shoulders of the women that came before me. And you fucked it up. The inclusivity and openness of those scenes really matter to me. What are you talking about? It was already 3 women, and now you just had 3 women again. And if you're talking about the fact that a couple of women were different races, they put Bernie Mac in the older ones, changing the race of that. So that was already inclusive, and you had Lucy Liu. You already had an inclusive cast in that one, so why did you feel like you had to push that for this? And then she says, and I think it really speaks to women about how we should be conducting ourselves. You think women in the real world should be acting like international spies? That's how you... It's an action movie. It's not a rom-com. It's not a true-to-life movie. It's an action movie. What the fuck are you talking about? This is a line that I find hilarious. And what she says afterwards is just even better. It says, now 3 years after Charlie's Angels became an infamous flop that stopped the franchise cold, Banks is changing her tune. She fucked the movie up so bad that nobody wants Charlie's Angels shit anymore. It's probably going to be another 10 to 15 years before anybody else takes another swing at it. Thank you! Thanks so much! Banks goes on to say, there was a story around Charlie's Angels that I was creating some Feminist Manifesto. By your words, you were, so... And then she continued on to say, I was just making an action movie. No, you weren't! It is not just an action movie. Like she has said before, she pushed inclusivity and pushed that whole fucking ultra female feminist shit. It's one thing to have strong female women. I love that. I love that in movies. It's another to force your ideas and agendas on the people. That's a completely different story. And she's just really salty that she fucked this movie up. I think that's what it is. Last little quirk from her that I want to say that is goddamn hilarious to me. I would have liked to have made Mission Impossible, but women aren't directing Mission Impossible. I was able to direct an action movie, frankly, because I starred women and I'm a female director. No. No. You never tried to direct Mission Impossible. Also, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want to direct Mission Impossible. You know why? Because Tom Cruise stars in it. And he is just one bulk of a man. And I don't think you're going to get him to fit the agendas that you want to spout. That's the problem. I think her big problem with that is she knows she wouldn't be able to get the job even if she tried because she's inexperienced as fuck. You know, that might be one huge point that she's forgetting. She has like no directing experience really, especially with action films. And it's okay for men to direct action films. You had your chance to direct an all-female action movie and you fucked it up. You could have made that your Mission Impossible. But the impossible was fucking up that mission somehow. And you managed to do it.